three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah. We packing somebody up tonight. Hey. Come on in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat packing the air, we about to blow. This the basement, ain't nobody safe, you already know. Grab a seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the trade, yes and no. Friends and the foes, the butlers and the heroes. You can feel it in your soul, but when the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17. Bring your takes and your memes, going hard for the team. Going down in the basement. It's going down in the basement. Get your takes off. Get your takes off. Going down in the basement.
Yeah. Welcome to the Basement Sports Network post-game show. I'm your host, Royal A. Shepherd. And with me today, we got the chairman of the Kang Gang, my boy, Kang Ricky J. Mark. Ricky, how you doing today, brother?
I'm feeling doubly victorious tonight. How are you doing?
I'm feeling fan-fucking-tastic, Kang. Appreciate you for asking. So tonight, the Miami Heat got up off the mat, got a 106-95 victory over the Brooklyn Nets. Look, at this point, I don't give a shit who the competition is. I just wanted to get out of here with a win. So like, shout out to them for taking care of business. Brooklyn isn't a great team, but this game wasn't by any means a blowout. It felt like a nip and tuck game the entire time. It was a dogfight for most of this game, and Miami just found a way to pull away at the end with a surprising closing lineup, a lineup that didn't include Bam Adebayo, who is in and of itself his own conversation. Tonight he played like shit offensively, but had 17 rebounds. He had 5 fouls, 3 blocks, a steal. I don't give a shit. I did not like Bam's offensive game tonight at all. But yeah, a closing lineup that included Kel'el Ware, who got to start tonight as well, got an opportunity to close and was big for Miami in this game. He played very well. Their second leading scorer, second leading rebounder, and had the most blocks on the team. So shout out to him. Shout out to a bunch of different guys who we'll get into for a little bit. But Ricky, I want to hear your thoughts on the game before we move on.
Yeah, man, I think this was an imperfect win by an imperfect team. This game gave you a lot of what you like about the Miami Heat and what you don't like about the Miami Heat. I think the person in which this game can be encapsulated in, quite frankly, it's not even Kel'el Ware. It's someone who I tweeted about, I think, twice tonight during the game while I was flipping back and forth between, it's Drew Smith. I don't know if you want to go to the play. You want to start on the players now. You want to go to the players later. But I'll tell you this about
you. Go ahead. I'll follow you, brother.
Yeah. It got to a point. There was a time in this game when the Drew Smith minutes were brutal until they weren't, which was weird because it's like I think Drew Smith he embodies the kind of player that it's like, okay, he's obviously very limited talent-wise. Can't shoot straight half the time. And yet you can see why Spo puts him out there on the floor. There were some big defensive plays late in that game or late in the third quarter that kind of balanced things out a little bit for Miami, even though he wasn't giving you anything offensively. I think he finished 1 for 8, which is about 12, 13, 12.5% from the field. That's horrible. Yeah, that's terrible, right? But you could see where that effort comes in. And somebody else is up, somebody else was able to pick up the slack. And so I think a game like this, like I said, imperfect win by an imperfect team, but I remain encouraged by what you mentioned, I think. The lineup that Spo finally went back to or went to for what feels like the first time. And I think, quite frankly, you can definitely build off of this kind of lineup because of the balance that it brings. And quite frankly, in 30 minutes, we'll get to Kel'el, but in 30 minutes, Kel'el gave you 22, 12, and 4. Those are max contract big man numbers in today's league. Is he going to give you that every night? No, but I imagine we'll be getting to him shortly.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect segue because I think tonight for me, Kel'el was the player of the game. In a lot of ways, like I'll split credit because I think even Davion played a pretty good floor game to me on both sides of the floor. But Kel'el Ware, to me, he is going to make this a season-long conversation about what should be happening as it pertains to him being in the starting lineup. And I think that's a good thing because tonight is the lineup that a lot of us like. To me, this is kind of Miami's most balanced starting unit. And it's the lineup that I hope that they would try out on a night in, night out basis. And to me, it felt justified tonight. Even though Bam didn't play well, Andrew Wiggins didn't particularly play well, the balance of that lineup with Norm scoring and Bam just rebounding and Kel'el being able to pick up in terms of like adding the scoring punch to the inside game, like that to me felt like something that was sustainable because on the nights he doesn't have it, then we're going to be tasking Bam with doing that. But Bam was ass. Like, I'm not running from that. He was terrible. But also kind of like Kel'el, where I don't think this is his baseline. This isn't who you expect Bam to be on a night in night out basis. The 17 rebounds was great. Like he's rebounding his ass off. But the offensive shit, like that shit's glaring at times. Tonight is one of those nights where it's like you would hope that you would see more from him, but you didn't, and they still got the win. Like he found another way to be impactful into this game.
You know what's interesting about the way this team was constituted tonight is that, yeah, you're right. Bam didn't give you anything offensively, right? But here's what's interesting. Next man up mentality, right?
For sure.
You got a double-double, a 20 and 10 double-double from the other front court guy. You got 19 points, 5 rebounds from Jaime Jaquez off the bench in 29 minutes. I don't want to go into plus minus because quite frankly, it really depends on, I mean, there's more than just the numbers, right? There were moments where if I start to see the same thing over and over again, and I start to see a pattern, I start to develop a perspective or a narrative in my head, right? And Kel'el Ware is somebody that I was excited about when he came to this team. And when I started, I began zeroing in on him, just watching him specifically out there on the floor. And at one point I was like, well, maybe, hold on. What's wrong with this brother's body language? Like, he's getting numbers, but is he engaged? What is the deal with all that? And then I realized something. You remember that play in the fourth quarter when I think it was Terrence Mann? By the way, free Terrence Mann. He's too talented to be on this team. He needs to be on a better team. Seriously. Like the Nets are
really bad fouls on Kel'el Ware, though.
So yeah, there we go. So the first one, the horse collar, the one that was a flagrant, right?
That was terrible.
Drags him down to the ground. It was a great call by the refs, upgrading that to a flagrant one. Sure, no problem. I'm watching the replay though, and I realize, man, that's just his personality. He's chill. It might look like he's not trying hard or that he's not engaged. And here's the thing: I'm not saying he doesn't need to lock in more. I've been saying that pretty consistently all season, but maybe that's just his personality. And I think the more the coaching staff and the team learns him, the more they can build the player that he can be based on who he already is, as opposed to trying to rewire him from the inside out, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. So I think they got so locked into I think they got so locked into like the anti-Hassan thing with Bam, and they've seen that lead the team for so many years that they kind of want to see that same level of fire and intensity throughout the roster. And to your point, like maybe that's not how he shows, his competitive nature. Maybe the way he shows that is by going out there and playing fucking basketball. Like, and that's what he did tonight. Like, I'm not going to get all rah-rah about this. I'm just going to go back out here and I'm going to show you guys what I can do. I'm going to do what's within my control. And I feel like he did that. And I feel like several other players played within themselves. You mentioned Jaime Jaquez, which was another kind of like eye-opening moment for me. Like, because it's still like the issues are the issues. He cannot shoot, even though he made 1-3 tonight. But to see him kind of go back to the earlier season form where he essentially was the second unit, because there wasn't much else to speak of. I mean, outside of you got 8 minutes from Kasparas tonight, which we can, kind of dive into a little bit. But Jaime Jaquez spearheaded that bench unit, and he was instrumental down the stretch of this game as well. I think he was a part of that closing lineup along with Norm. I think Drew Smith was in there. It was Drew, Kel'el, Norm, Jaime, and I can't remember who the fifth player was. It may have been Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, I think it might have been Andrew Wiggins who closed this game down the stretch. But Jaime Jaquez was going back to form, and I think for some people that's nice to see. I mean, I tend to lean more in the other direction where I think Jaime Jaquez, the more closely real version of Jaime Jaquez, is the one that we've seen over the past few weeks, the one who can't shoot, can't get to the lane. Teams stick a center on him, and he becomes effectively useless. But tonight, like, he wasn't that. Like, tonight, Jaime Jaquez was good. So you can talk about Jaime, or you can pick another player to talk about. But like I was telling Ricky before the show, I'm gonna tell y'all guys, this show not gonna be long because we got a back-to-back. And so
I ain't gonna be here tomorrow night.
Yeah, so. It's all right. I'll be here. Like, it's cool. So tell me, like, kind of start with Jaime Jaquez and then kind of like transition us to another player who you thought was particularly interesting.
So Jaime Jaquez, and I think I tweeted this earlier during the game, Jaime Jaquez plays the kind of basketball where if you're doing a run at the Y, he's the best player to have on your team. Because here's the thing, he's not great at any one thing, but when you're talking about effort, where you need effort to win you games, little things here and there, if you place him with guys that are also playing hard on both sides of the ball, not sitting here acting like Jaime Jaquez is the best defender in the world. He's not. Sometimes he gets cooked. It's embarrassing. Well, not embarrassing, but it can be kind of sad sometimes. But the effort that he gives, especially when you're playing a team that, quite frankly, might be more talented than the Heat, but the pieces ain't coming together.
I mean, just
no. Player.
Let me look at this roster while you're talking. Keep going, though, King.
Go ahead. Yeah, like player to player, because Miami plays hard, right? Jaime Jaquez is the kind of guy that plays hard, and this is the kind of game that you needed that from him, and you could see where he flourishes. Now, I'll go back to Drew Smith just for a moment. I realized late tonight that Drew Smith is the kind of player, you know what he plays like? He plays like somebody who, if he doesn't win, he's not getting paid. He plays like every meal, like his next meal is dependent on how he, because here's the thing, the man popped his
because Achilles. It does.
Yeah, well, yeah, in a way, yeah, but like this man popped his Achilles. He tore his ACL in one of his knees. I forget which one, the right or the left. I don't know. All I know is that it's bad enough to tear your ACL, even with modern medicine right now, but to pop your Achilles like a year later and then to come back and then dive for loose possessions the way he does.
You don't care about
it. That's the thing. I get why Spo plays him. And even though, like, oh my God, he was 0 for 6 from 3, he was horrible shooting tonight. He's the kind of player that, like, yeah, you know what? Okay, throw him out there for a couple of minutes, maybe not 25, right? Because tonight was a lot. Drew is one thing, right? My son, Kasparas, I finally saw him hit a jumper tonight, right? I think we're at the point now where, at first I'm like, well, hold on a second. What are they trying to do with him out there? Because for the first few minutes, they had him camped out in the corner. I mentioned
that during the game that they did something like this with him in the summer league. When he played in the summer league, they were having, I forgot the player's name, but it was another guy who was handling the ball, and they had him kind of camped out in the corner, and it was like, that's probably not where he's most effective. But then I saw him on the ball a little bit tonight, and I was like, okay, he still needs some more. He still needs
he needs reps. He needs reps. He needs to improve his awareness. And here's the thing, I'm not worried about that with him, right? Because unlike someone else, and I'm referring to Nikola Jovic here, the instincts are a little bit different. Kasparas plays the passing lanes and defends actually a bit better than Jovic does. So it's a little bit different. Not only that, he's a legit point guard. Like, he played point guard in Europe and everything. I want to see, I can see why he only played about 7.5 minutes tonight. I get it, right? Once the game slows down for him, remember these are his first real minutes. I mean, he played like garbage time a couple of weeks ago or something like that, but these were his first real minutes, and they came.
And I think Brooklyn's a good team to like throw him out there and let him get
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
just a sunburn, like, and they didn't put too much on him. They didn't saddle him with a ton of responsibility out there. It's just kind of like go out there, get your feet wet, just see how others are moving in the league and see how you compare to them athletically, so that you'll have a better sense of kind of what's going to be asked of you when we do finally give you some minutes. So I think his minutes were he only played 8 of them. So like calling his minutes productive is kind of like it's foolish, but like they were in terms of development. I think he got good, solid developmental minutes tonight, and I think he made the most of it by hitting a jump shot, which is something that he failed to do very early on in the summer league. So, shout out to him. I thought he played well. I get your point about Drew Smith, because I often talk about how like Miami doesn't have an identity, and they don't, like, just really they don't play like they have an identity. Drew Smith plays like he known the Miami Heat identity his entire life. He embodies, to your point, like he embodies kind of like what we know to be Miami Heat basketball. Like for those of us who go far enough back, like Drew Smith is exactly what Miami Heat basketball looked like across the board. Like maybe not as talented as somebody else, but gonna outplay you every minute of that game. Like in terms of like effort, they're gonna give you way more effort. And Miami has a long history of having players like that come through this organization. Drew Smith is probably the least talented of them all, but like, fuck it, like we don't, on a roster like this, we have a lack of that. And so to your just to circle back around the Jaquez for a little bit, because I thought it was interesting how you talked about Jaquez's effort too, because it does seem like he touches multiple parts of the game when he's engaged. I think the scoring was one thing. He added 5 rebounds on top of that tonight too, and a lot of those are like hustle rebounds and just like rebounds that are out of position and shit like that, just giving Miami additional opportunities. And I think that is kind of where he's going to settle here. Maybe not at 19 points a game, but I think just kind of like as a spark of energy for this team, he does that very well. Somebody who doesn't do that well is Simone Fontecchio. I'm starting to not understand why he's on the roster at all. Like I just don't get it. I don't know.
He's going through a cold stretch, man. We saw
Simone
how good he
Fontecchio,
was.
like
You know, like what exactly? You know what it is? Like, okay, so for someone like him, right? I feel like I've been saying this about a lot of the role players the last few years. So I apologize if I sound like a broken record at this point. Like, Miami cannot afford to treat Simone Fontecchio like he's, I don't know, like he's Ray Allen in 08. You know what I mean? Like he's a spot shooter. He is a what's that word? Not positional. He's not circumstantial. Oh my goodness. He's the guy you put in for certain moments, right? Okay. And he's not someone that you like, hey, I'm going to play you 25 to 30 minutes tonight. Go get me some threes.
I think situational is the right word.
Situational. There we go. Thank you. Yes, that's the one. He's that. That's what he is. He's not someone you can afford to lean on for a lot of shots. That being said, when the season started, he was in a certain rhythm, and without going into it too much, shooters are very particular about their rhythm, right?
Yeah,
you got to keep a shooter in rhythm, and I think once this team crystallizes a little bit more, once that lineup that we're seeing right now makes more sense in the eyes of the coaching staff, once Kel'el continues to demonstrate why he needs to be starting next to Bam, once Bam, I'm not worried about Bam. Bam will give you what he'll be all right, right? Bam, Wiggins, Powell, we know what they're here for. Davion Mitchell, okay? I mean, I think Eric Reed referred to him as like that little pit bull, right? And look, once it becomes clear that these are the guys that they're going to war with every night, at the very least for the first few minutes of the game, and maybe even the last 5 or last 3 or 4, I think a shooter like Simone Fontecchio, I believe, will have the rhythm opportunities to where it's like, okay, this is what I can develop. This is what I can get into my head. This is what the coaching staff wants from me. And in theory, I think for him, Water will meet its level again. I don't think he'll be shooting 68% from the field, but anywhere from early 40s, you should be fine, especially if everybody else is drawing attention away from you and you're not being forced to do things that you're not really comfortable doing at this level.
Yeah, so Mario G in the chat, he said he don't know what happened to Simone. He's Simone Fontecchio. Like like what he did early in the season was unsustainable by any metric. No NBA player could have sustained that for a full season. And right now, like this out of rhythm thing has him shooting way worse than what he's capable of. To Ricky's point, like there is a median level in between somewhere of those, like mid 40s. Like, sure, I think he can reach those levels, and I think he can excel as kind of like a situational player. Like, I think when offense kind of like falling apart or whatever, you want somebody to come in there, see if they can get some quick threes up. Simone's going to be your guy. But on a night in, night out basis, he probably shouldn't be in anybody's rotation. Like he's not a rotational player. Not consistently, not for any team who has any aspirations of doing anything serious. I do want to ask you this before we move on to the next game. This starting lineup, because we all know, like, I think this is an encouraging sign for a lot of fans, excuse me, to see Miami kind of like get out the snide. Like, you got a lot of things that you wanted. You got to see Miami get out the snide. You got to see Kel'el Ware get into the starting lineup again. What you didn't get to see was Tyler Herro get an opportunity to integrate himself into this again. And I know we tried to avoid that for as long as humanly possible, but his return is inevitable. Like, is this only going to be a sometime thing when Tyler Herro is healthy? Are they going to finally kind of like lean into this? Or do you think they're just going to kind of keep running around in that hamster wheel of trying to make him, along with two other guards, work in the starting lineup, and Kel'el Ware is just kind of like a casualty in terms of that? Or maybe they might trade Andrew Wiggins so that they can start Kel'el, Bam, and three guards.
I like the way Norman Powell played tonight in about 32 minutes. We got a good, I believe he led all scorers with about 24 points. And given the way he was able to play almost, I don't want to say like free, because I feel like his style of play has been pretty much like that kind. Like, what you're getting when you put Norman Powell out there, right? I'm very happy to see that, given that he was able to play, about 32 minutes tonight. Yeah. He wasn't pushed too far, pushed too hard or anything like that. And he gave you a lot of the shooting opportunities that he normally does. He shot 8 for 14. And quite frankly, if you remember his shooting, like his numbers early on in the season when Miami was quote unquote fun to watch.
Sure.
Take a look at his production tonight.
25 points on like efficient shooting. Tonight he got 24 points on 14 shots.
You know what I mean? And it's interesting because he shot the same amount of free throws as Kel'el Ware. Like, they were literally equally 5 for 6 from the line. And here's the thing, right? To go back to your initial question.
The shot distribution there, all of the starters had double-digit shot attempts too.
Yeah. Actually, Drew Smith eventually stopped shooting, thank God.
Jaquez had 13 as well. So
for sure. And so the interesting thing here is that as I was watching tonight, and I'm looking at Jaime Jaquez and everything like that, and I'm looking at how some of the other guys had their minutes staggered, I was thinking about this. I was like, what would be what would be helpful if Drew Smith's minutes went down? Not because I don't like Drew Smith or anything like that, but I believe that if Drew Smith's minutes go down, it's because there is help coming off the bench, offensive punch that is coming off the bench that let's say is accustomed to playing off the bench and going in and being like a microwave for this team. Like you said a little bit earlier, I think it would be fool's gold to expect 19 points off the bench every night from Jaime Jaquez. He's not Jamal Crawford, and I think his best year off the bench was around 17. That's a lot, okay? I don't think that's going to happen. So I would say, quite frankly, it would be very helpful if Miami, be it through development, roster shuffling, or even trading or, transactions, are able to, now that they have this starting five, to establish a consistent off-the-bench scorer that can, quite frankly, get their own shots. Let me give you a perfect example. You might not like this example, but it is what it is. Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench for the Knicks. You know the moment he comes into that game, that ball's going up.
He putting that bitch up.
But that's exactly why they brought him in, because the bench needed that. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, you got to do what Mike Brown says, obviously, and everything like that. And it wasn't just the shots that he put up that helped the Knicks win the NBA Cup last night. Not last night, but the other night.
We don't give a fuck about the Knicks winning the Mickey Mouse mid-season cup. Dr. Nasty has pulled up with the $20 donor. We appreciate you. Say, my son, Nikola. Listen, brother. We talked about him a little bit. We said he was decent. I'm not listening to Ricky talk about the NCAA tournament, y'all. I'm not finna do that. But I think he was politely saying, put that motherfucker Tyler Herro on the bench, man. like that's where it was headed. That fake ass championship. But yeah, that's where it was headed, bro. Put that motherfucking Tyler Herro on the bench, bro. Just try it. Just try it, bro. I know they not gonna do it. Everybody who gonna tell me, no, I know they never gonna do this. You should start as it don't matter. I'm doing it. I seen your message, King. I seen it too late though. But I put that motherfucker on the bench, man. Give him Simone minutes. And take some of Drew Smith minutes, like Ricky was saying. Take Drew Smith down to 15 minutes. They go extra 9 plus the 22. Tyler Herro played 31 minutes off the bench.
You know what? So, never mind the fact that I was just rendered a major injustice. I'm gonna step into my John King on CNN bag right now, right? Okay.
Come on now.
Let me show y'all something. Check this out. There is a pathway to 48 wins. All right. There's a pathway to 48 wins. And if you invest in the right communities and in the right precincts, I can assure you that you will find the votes that will get you to 48 wins. All right. Watch this. Boom. Bing. Let me spin this around for you. You see that right there? That's Loudoun County. All right. You win Loudoun County, it's a great bellwether county for the rest of the country or for the rest of the Midwest. I can assure you of that. Now let me.
Okay. I can guarantee you our audience. They do not appreciate what you just did.
No, that's
just
fine.
Did, brother.
That's fine. It's all right. But no, but this is what I'm saying though. Like, there is a pathway, right? And quite frankly, it's the kind of pathway that allows you to quite literally stabilize not only your starting lineup, but your rotation. I don't know if y'all noticed tonight. For those of y'all that are hate lurking or whatever, the Heat won tonight. We're celebrating it. We're championing the players that showed up and contributed. Even the players that didn't even play well tonight, we still found a way to talk about how they were helpful to and how they were able to contribute to the win tonight. Drew Smith was garbage and yet still 6 assists. If you notice something about a lot of these players, if something else isn't working for them, they find another way to contribute. Bam didn't score double figures, but he got almost 20 rebounds tonight. He helped the team pull away from. Correct, yeah, 3 blocks.
He was elite defensively, and he was an elite rebounder tonight.
All right,
but Ricky, I tweeted something like this earlier. Like it was just kind of like, I know, like you tried to get me not to do this, so I want to acknowledge your efforts by saying Ricky told me he did not want to talk about Tyler Herro tonight, and I am not listening. But I tweeted this. I was like, a lot of times when it comes to Tyler Herro, like people don't see, like as long as he scores his 20 points, then he's done what's necessary for him to contribute to winning. To like he's done his job. But Bam can score and play defense and not rebound, and he hurts this team. Bam can defend and rebound and not score, and he hurts this team. Bam has so many different jobs that it's what makes night like this more forgivable to me. Like that's what it is, because he was solid in so many areas of this game, and his scoring wasn't necessary in terms of like getting us a win. Then fine. If Miami had lost this game because they could not score and they were leaking baskets, then more of the onus would have been on his offense tonight in the way that he played. But that's not usually how it works out, bro. But either way, like I don't think Tyler caused all of anything. I think he is a part of what happened. I don't think he is the problem. But yeah, we got another show to do tomorrow, so we're gonna just go into the next game, which is against Boston. I think this is going to be much more. I think this would be a much better game to assess what's real and what's not.
Perhaps.
It's a nice little litmus test to figure out whether or not this starting lineup, like where the actual holes are, in this unit, and I think we'll get a clearer view of kind of like whether or not this could work. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So first of all, I want you to talk about kind of. I don't really want to do the predicting the games tonight. Like I'm not tonight. I want to do like, what are your expectations? Like, what do you expect to see? Let's say, for instance, Tyler Herro still out. We're trying not the same lineup. What is it that you expect to carry over from tonight in terms of like things that went well for the next game, and what won't translate at all?
Buck Boston.
What?
Buck Boston.
Correct.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you ask a question?
No. That's more than enough answer for me. Fuck him with a sick dick. Herpes infested, if you will. I wish nothing but AIDS on this franchise.
Wow.
That pipe that leprechaun is smoking in the middle of the court is a dick pipe.
Oh.
I fucking hate that franchise. Same. I fucking hate them. I hate that one too. But I fucking hate Boston. I like New York. I hate them, but they not like, I don't know. I just don't. It's not really like
we're not as racist up here. Well, we are, but there's more of us.
Sure, but like it's also like I don't care. Like, but like I don't know. It's more of like a itch than it is like a full blown fucking disease, like it is to be a Boston Celtics fan. I fucking hate them and everything about them. I want to win that game tomorrow desperately, but I do not think everything that Miami did tonight will translate. Tomorrow, Bam has to score. He has to. Because I think a lot of people thought Boston would fall off the map with Tatum being out this year, and they have not. Jaylen Brown is playing out of his goddamn mind, and Derek White has come on this season and has been fantastic. And it's a lot of things that's working in their favor. But fuck them. I cannot stress that enough, bro. I fucking hate them. I hate their fucking fan base. I hate their mascot. I hate their GM. I hate their owner. I hate their stadium.
I got something
that visit that fucking state. And to top it all off, Adam Barai lives in Boston.
Wow.
It makes it worse.
You want to know what's weird about the Heat and the Celtics as of right now?
What's that?
The Heat are only a half game back of Boston right now. They've lost the Celtics have lost their last 2 games. They are 7-3 in their last 10. Miami is 4-6 in their last 10, but they won tonight. They're only 15-11. The Heat, after everything that they've gone through thus far this season, it really goes to show you how narratives work in the NBA. People are acting like the Celtics are like, whoa, they're so amazing. I mean, I think you may have just said that yourself just now, right? And yet they're 15-11. The Heat are 15-12.
I know. Okay, I know.
The Knicks are 19-7.
All right, bitch.
Go ahead, click yay. Go ahead. Whatever.
I didn't have it up yet. But if I would have, it would have been the perfect time to play the fucking video. Ricky, But yeah, thank you guys in the comments as always for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to my guy, Ricky.
Royal, I'm sorry. One more thing, Royal.
No. Have at it, King.
Free Palestine.
Oh yeah, we packing somebody up tonight.
Oh yeah, I want to make it very clear. Free Venezuela. What we about to do over there is a war crime and a crime against humanity. All right, straight like that.
Ain't nobody say you already know. Grab a seat and keep your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the trade, yes and no. Friends in the foe, butlers in the hero. Feel it in your soul. No ring is the goal. If somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing, like Jimmy down the lane.